Hi, hello, welcome to Man with a Mentor. I am the man, your host, Matthew Barnard, and you may be wondering, this looks like a little bit different of an episode of Man with a Mentor, and you'd be right, because there's three things that are different. One is I don't have any guests sitting here with me, and that's because they're coming via Zoom. And there they are. And the other thing is normally I talk to one person at a time, and today I have two. And I'm going to introduce them now. We have Marlene Sharp. Hi, Marlene. Say hi.
Hi. Hi, Matthew. Thank you for inviting us on the show.
Oh, well, thank you. I feel like you coordinated this like more than I did.
Well, it all started with you. It's your podcast. So
Right.
We're just visiting.
Right. And then we have Judi Uttal. Right, I said it right. Okay, yay.
You did great. Thank you. Thanks for having us, Matthew.
Oh, you're welcome. Now I'm going to say a blurb about each of you, but before that, I want to say about why this is the third reason why this is a little different episode of Man with a Mentor, and that is because normally I talk to a person about their life, where they got their initial interest in what they do and everything they did to pursue it, so they came out the other end with a dream career, and they love doing what they do. Today, I'm going to talk about that as well, but I'm going to frame it also with the needs of people that are in the autism spectrum. Here today with two guests, and I'm totally excited they're going to be here, and it is, let's talk about Marlene Sharp. And I wrote something about you, Marlene, and it is, Marlene Sharp is a creative entertainment executive and top dog at Pink Poodle Productions, an executive producer of Rainshine Entertainment's animated feature film trilogy, Young Captain Nemo. Formerly as a producer, Marlene worked on the Cartoon Network series Sonic Boom and contributed significantly to 2020's Sonic the Hedgehog feature film. She is also a freelance journalist and a short film auteur. Welcome, Marlene. All right, and next up we have Judi Uttal. Judi is president of the Orange County Asperger's Support Group, a nonprofit improving quality of life for individuals and families dealing with high-functioning autism. In 2022, Judi founded the Autism and Entertainment Work Group and is leading the Autism and Entertainment Conference in spring 2024. She holds a degree in math and computer science from UCLA and an MBA from Carnegie Mellon University. Now, I'm going to ask Marlene the first question. So I'm wondering, you're toiling away in the world of entertainment, and I'm wondering what led you to meet Judi and like how you started talking about autism and helping her.
That's a great question. And so Judi and I are fast friends, and we're new friends and collaborators. And we can really thank the California Department of Developmental Services for bringing us together, because we both work for organizations that received grants for autism-centric activations. And through other folks in the autism and entertainment adjacent communities, information was exchanged, and the DDS was very good about networking, putting together the grant recipients, and that's essentially how we met. So my home organization that started me on my autism journey is called the Center for Learning Unlimited, and it's a training program for adults on the spectrum to learn animation as a career. Uh-huh. And so I've been involved with CLU Transitions is the name of the training program. And then we have a studio called Brainstorm Productions that employs the graduates of this program. And so that's what led me to the DDS grant and how I met Judi.
Oh, yay. All right, Judi. Now you have a son who was diagnosed with high-functioning autism at 3. And now he's a graduate of California State University Fullerton in cinema and television. So I'm just wondering, did you feel there were gaps in terms of like people's needs that you wanted to fill and focus on?
So I was already I've been president of the Orange County Asperger Support Group for about 9 years. And we've been focused on employment for some time because our members told us to focus on employment. And it turns out that 80 to 85% of people with autism are either unemployed or underemployed. So focusing on employment has been something I've been doing for quite some time and has allowed me to meet new people, et cetera.
Right.
When my son graduated from Cal State Fullerton, I started thinking that there was a gap in employment in the entertainment space.
All right.
And I started discovering that there were other organizations that were focused, that it turned out to be a big thing. There were a lot of people on the spectrum that had a passion and skill set in entertainment, but although the entertainment industry was focused on diversity, it wasn't focused on neurodiversity. And so that made me think that would be a problem to address that was very specific. And whenever I've been involved in employment and autism, it tended to be very horizontal in focus. It tended to be, any kind of job. And I tried to focus it on college graduates, but even still to focus it more on a particular vertical like entertainment seemed like a smart thing to do. So yes, it was because of my son that was the vertical I focused in on. And right. And I'm really excited that we did this. I think it makes, the more I'm on this journey, the more it makes sense that this is the journey I should be on.
Right. Now, there has been a huge discussion of diversity, but you don't hear the word neurodiversity is thrown in there as much. So I'm just wondering if you can explain, this is for Judi, like about what that term means and the spectrum of autism, and like how do you explain neurodiversity and to other people?
Sure. So neurodiversity actually was a term that was created in England to just talk about people who are wired differently, who think differently. And it actually includes more than autism. It includes people with, Tourette's or, some mental OCD kind of things, or maybe it's people with attention deficit disorders. So it includes a broad range of individuals and when you start adding all those people up, it becomes quite a large group of people when you look at it as a percentage of the population. Right. Autism is probably the largest group because it's now, I think 1 in 36 is the latest CDC numbers. So any school bus has at least one person on the spectrum on it. Right. And so it captures the fact that when you look at the normal range of people that people that think differently than what we call a neurotypical, a typical person, they're distinguished from them because of behaviors that maybe are outside of the norm.
Right. All right. This is for you, Marlene. I'm just wondering, what do you think are the unique and special gifts that autistic voices bring to entertainment employers?
There are a lot of special gifts, and they do vary per person. So there is a wide range. But if I were to generalize, I would say attention to detail, hyper focus is one, or two adjacent qualities.
Right.
And also, one thing that I've observed in working with a lot of different fandoms throughout the years, because my background is in merchandise-driven entertainment. So I've worked with a lot of nerd brands like Sonic the Hedgehog and Power Rangers and so forth. And your super fans, like stans, they oftentimes come from the neurodivergent community. So like loyalty to a brand, and then with that brand loyalty comes just sometimes an encyclopedic knowledge of whatever that brand or fandom is, and also loyalty to a company that makes those products or content that someone on the spectrum is working toward. So yeah, and a lot of creativity, a lot of out of the box thinking.
Marlene, I'm just wondering, what do you think are the best ways for people with autism to get hired and break down those barriers and thrive and just, as a shining example to others? Because in terms of applying for jobs, it seems like if there is any reason for something not to say in a job interview, they say, don't mention this, don't mention that. Like, do you not mention your autism in the job interview? Or how do you turn that around and throw it back to them as like a positive? Or, how do you get in as an autistic person to show what you can do if you are afraid to mention it?
I'm sure that I don't have the secret sauce. Otherwise, I'd be doing better for myself. So I don't have all the answers, but I would say that networking is important for everybody. If you identify a company where you want to work, there's no reason why you can't be proactive in sending your materials or, establishing a connection with somebody at that company. LinkedIn is a great place to do that. But you can contact people on other social platforms, or even just write an old-fashioned letter. Sometimes an old-fashioned letter is more likely to get through because nobody does it anymore. So it's my dog underscores that with her passion.
Right. Well, going back to Judi, I'm just wondering, what do you think the entertainment industry and even colleges and universities can do to improve how they relate to people with autism? I know that's a big one.
It is a big one. I think one of the things that they need to do is speak to them and understand their needs. So they may have needs. Each person is different, like Marlene said. And so it's really about finding accommodations to help that person in their work environment. A lot of the larger companies form employee resource groups, and Ubisoft is one of them. And they're going to come and speak to us May 30th about their employee resource group, which is about, they have like 400 or so employees who are neurodivergent. And so they've gotten those people together and found out what they needed to do to accommodate. And it may be, like for one person, it may be, give me an agenda before the meeting so I know what to expect. Or it may be, I really need quiet where I work, so I need to wear my headset or be put in a place where I'm not in the middle of a big a bullpen. So it's really going to be about the individual, when they're working. And then the other issue is when you're hiring them. And finding a job is a little bit like a beauty pageant. People a lot of times want to hire someone just like them, and they want to feel this chemistry with them. And so for somebody on the autism spectrum, and this is a stereotype, but in general, they're not necessarily as comfortable with social interactions, and so they might not present as well. But when you start looking at their talent and their portfolio and their skill set, or put them in a situation where they're going to be able to demonstrate their skills, they might just really jump out at you. So it's really being more cognizant of how you might be biasing the interview process towards somebody who might be more neurotypical, more normal, so to speak, more social.
So I'm just wondering, I'd also love to chat with you both about your own personal journeys while you're here. So I'm just wondering, Marlene, when did you get that first inkling as a youngster, as a little Marlene, did you know like you wanted to work in entertainment and animation or produce, and what did you do to do all the little steps to get where you are today, and where do you feel like you want to go from here?
I think I was born this way. So I don't remember formulating the idea. It just was always there. And I was always doing weird stuff as a kid. Yes. Taking lemons and making lemonade has been a particular, it's a saying that's close to my heart, because occasionally something fabulous like autism and entertainment, for instance, will fall into my lap and it's a gift. But most of the time, it's the things that are treasures are not just dropping out of the sky. They're things that you have to either dig for, like at a thrift store or an estate sale. Sometimes the treasures don't jump out. You've got to dig your way, or take a lump of coal and fashion it into a diamond or something like that.
Right.
But I did move out of New Orleans to pursue those diamonds, I have to say.
Right.
And I do love living in Los Angeles. I also lived in San Diego when I went to graduate school at San Diego State for musical theater. So that was great. And then I lived in Orange County for a year and then moved to Los Angeles a while ago. But I do like living out here and being in the center of it all.
Right, right. Now, let me ask something similar to Judi. You had a prolific career as a high-tech marketing executive. And where did that interest come from? Because, like, probably back in the 80s, like, STEM and girls going into engineering or math or all that was, that was a surprising choice. So, like, you were a trailblazer maybe in that way. And where did that love come from? And did you always love it and you're glad you did it? Or?
Well, it started, I guess, by me being good at math. And I remember the day that I fell in love with math. We were working on the communicative property, and it was like in third grade or something, and we had to add up different series of numbers, and I just wouldn't stop. I just kept going, and I took recess, and I kept adding, and I wanted to see how far I could get, and that's when math became magical to me. As a psych major at UCLA, you had to take a computer science class, and it turned out I loved that, and so that led me to major in that. And then I knew I got a job writing programs, and I knew that I wasn't as good as some of these other people as programmers. They could write code way around me. And so I knew that I wanted to go into management. And so then I got my MBA. And that led me into marketing, which was kind of a cross between psychology and technology, and that ended up being my career. And it was a natural for me. I had a lot of creativity. I was good at analytics, and I was good at driving teams, and so that ended up being my career. And it was a great career. It was tougher than one would think, but as my husband, now that I'm retired, I say, okay, I survived my career. Because it's not easy these days. There's no 50-year pin, 40-year pin. Everybody, especially in the software industry, has to plan a career where you have to go and change from one job to the next. And so that makes it tougher for us. And I'm sure Marlene experienced the same thing in entertainment. They have that in common.
Right. All right. Let's go back and plug some things for autism and entertainment. Like, how do people find out about it? Could people get in touch with you if they want help or resources? Where would they go?
Our website, autismentertainment.org, spelled just the way it sounds.
Perfect.
It has, we had our conference last month and it was amazing. And we have all the videos, photos from that event, who all the speakers are there. We have a way for you to register for our database of folks, and we're planning other events and activities. So that's, for me, the primary way to connect. But we also are on social media and have a Facebook presence, an Instagram presence, a LinkedIn presence, and our own YouTube channel. But I should let Marlene plug away.
Yes, Marlene, let's have you plug.
Well, I'm plugging what Judy's plugging. It's a double plug. So yeah, I do have other things that I'm working on as far as I have other clients that I work with, and one of them is Brainstorm Productions. And Brainstorm is a team of all animators and artists who are on the spectrum, and we started premiering a series of short films on the Brainstorm Productions YouTube channel. The artists are embarking on this endeavor where everything comes from their brains as opposed to client work. So we do a lot of work that's commissioned from clients, but this Dreams project that we're working on now, it's a short film by the individual artists. And so we've premiered 3 of them so far. And you can watch them as they roll out on YouTube. So that's another thing that I'm working on. And then I have a variety of other clients and things that I'm working on, and always accepting new opportunities. So if you need some marketing, PR, producing, if you have a podcast that you want promoted or whatever, or anything, I'm pretty open to anything.
Right. I say let's PR the heck out of this episode. Right? Yeah.
Done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, Marlene Sharp and Judi Uttal, for being with me here today and discussing their lives and the importance of getting people that are on the autistic spectrum and just helping to improve their lives, their careers, and hopes and dreams and all that, because that's why we're here. You know, we only have so long on planet Earth, and you got to make the most of it. So with that, I just want to say thank you for watching and listening. Watching, that's the new word for watching and listening at the same time. Let's do a hashtag. So thank you for paying attention to this episode of Man with a Mentor. And thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you.